and Eleanor and Rhodes had been to the house in Nottingham only twice. The first time he'd smelt of whiskey and roared at them when they played in the tiny back garden. The second time he'd had a go at Mum, shouted and told her she was a disgrace. He'd smelt of whiskey that time too. Eleanor hadn't known what it was, but Rhodes had told her. He loved knowing everything she didn't. Their granny visited them in Sussex instead, or saw them for day trips to London, which Eleanor loved, even though nowadays it was annoying Granny didn't understand she was 14 and didn't want to do babyish things like Madame Tussauds. She wanted to hang out by herself at Hyper and Kensington Market. But Mum had been much more upset about Grandpa dying than Eleanor would have expected. Everyone's parents argue, she reminded herself. Karen had said that last week when Eleanor had cried all over her and said she didn't want to go on holiday with her parents and her brother. Not like this, they don't, Eleanor had wanted to say. She was so used to worrying about things, whether she would break her arm falling off the horse at gym, just like Moira at school, whether her mum or dad would die of a terrible disease, whether she herself was dying of a secret disease, because she was sure her periods were heavier than everyone else's, and the letter in Ms. Magazine had said that if you were worried about it, you should definitely go to the doctor. All these things kept her awake at night, till her heart pounded, and then she worried that her heart rate was too fast and would explode, and she had never noticed that all of a sudden her parents seemed to hate each other. Suddenly something was, she knew, wrong, terribly wrong, and it was only when she played her music really loud or curled up on her bed with a book that the tide of fear seemed to recede, for a little while. They'd had an okay day today. A walk along towards Talisker Bay where the whiskey was made. Dad had told Rhodes he could try some at the distillery since he was nearly 18. The air was fresh and clear. The sky was a perfect powder blue. The last of the midges really had gone, and Eleanor was almost glad to be out of her room for once, outside with her parents and her brother, just like a normal family on a normal holiday. The trouble had started today, when they got back and there was frozen pizza for lunch. Dad had had a go at Mum because it wasn't properly defrosted, soggy in the middle, and she'd shouted at him. Eleanor and Rhodes were used to this at home, but Dad was a GP who worked late and often didn't notice the burnt pasta, the half-cooked chicken Kievs. "It's disgusting," he'd said eventually, pushing the plate away. "I can't eat it, Mandana. You should have defrosted it before we went for the walk." Mum was on her second glass of wine. "Right, of course. It's beyond the realm of possibility that you'd make lunch, John, isn't it? It's a holiday for me too. I've had a bloody hard time and you don't even—" Dad had stood up, pushing the table away, and stalked off into the sitting room. He'd stayed there, with the door shut, watching the cricket, till Mandana had gone in to remind him about driving Eleanor the next day. A knocking sound made Eleanor jump. Her mother opened the door, slowly. "Elle, love," she said. "Are you all right?" "I'm fine." Eleanor took her headphones off. Mandana came into the room. She wiped her face with one hand, tiredly. "I'm sorry for the yelling. Just a misunderstanding. Your dad didn't realise about driving you see." Adolescent rage, made up of anger and fear, boiled inside Eleanor. "I know, you didn't ask him. You drank too much and forgot. Again." "Ellie," her mother said sharply, "don't be rude. Of course I didn't. It's not that. Your father and I just aren't getting on very well at the moment, that's all." "Are you going to get a divorce?" Eleanor heard herself asking the question, and held her breath. "Love, of course not. What makes you think that?" Mandana patted her soft dark hair rather helplessly and said, before Eleanor could answer, "Anyway, I just wanted to apologise for all that noise. Daddy'll take you to the station tomorrow. It's no problem." Mandana's voice was trembling, and her cheeks were flushed. Eleanor rolled her eyes and crossed her arms. "Why are you being like this?" "Like what?" Mandana said. "You're different since Grandpa died. I don't understand. You always said you hated him."